Krishna's names, and we will also have the opportunity to hear about Krishna's wonderful Leela. And this Leela is given very nicely in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is the Leela of the Lord in the form of Damodara, and he's being bound by Mother Yashoda. And so this form of the Lord is adored and worshipped throughout Vrindavan and throughout the world for those who know its significance. So let's chant Krishna's names first, and then after that we can actually hear something about the Leela. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I need you to chant Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Yajna Ki. So during this period of time, in Vrindavan Dham, all the devotees of Krishna, they all come together every day and they remember his pastimes. One of the great pastimes of Krishna is actually when he became afraid of his mother, Yashoda, who tied him to the mortar because he was stealing butter. I think the children here would know something about the story. Am I right? How many of you have heard of this story? Children? Yeah? Very good.
My daddy.
That's good. But he doesn't steal butter, right? That's good. So in Vrindavan, on the day of Diwali, which is actually the day of Diwali, Mother Yashoda woke up in the morning. And when she woke up in the morning, she decided to change and she put on fresh clothes, beautiful sari, nice flowers, and then she decided to serve Krishna. Krishna was a very little boy. So when she woke up, he was still sleeping. And she was thinking that since Krishna is sleeping, the best thing for me to do now is to actually churn milk and turn it into butter. That is what Krishna would like most. Mother Yashoda did that not because she liked it, but because she knew that Krishna liked butter. The most important thing we should learn as devotees is to not do things that we like. That is considered to be a material consideration. More important than doing what we like, we should do what pleases Krishna. When we run after things that we want as our pleasure, then our mind and our senses are not in our control. In fact, our mind will actually control us. And we become very caught up with material hankering. Material hankering is the greatest impediment to becoming peaceful in devotional service. Mother Yashoda showed us a great example. She could have done anything else in the morning of Diwali. She could have done something for herself, for example. But she decided what would please Krishna most. And she thought, what would please Krishna most is for me to churn butter for him. Why? Because Krishna loved butter. And everybody in Vrindavan knew that Krishna loved butter so much that he was stealing butter. He was stealing butter not only from his own house, but he was also stealing butter from his neighbor's house. And all the other gopis would frequently come to Mother Yashoda and they would complain that Krishna was stealing butter. And so whenever Krishna was caught, the gopis would bring Krishna in front of Mother Yashoda and they would make him confess or try to confess that yes, he stole butter. Mother Yashoda would look at Krishna, and Krishna would have a very guilty face. And he would tell his mother that I never stole any butter from anyone. But his face would be full of butter, his hands would be full of butter. And when the gopis saw Krishna being very innocent about it, they would also start laughing, and they would forget about what Krishna did. So Krishna loved butter, and he was known as a thief of butter. But our sastras tell us that actually Krishna is not a thief. Sometimes we think, oh, if God can behave like a thief, then surely we can also become thieves. But we must never forget that everything in this world belongs to Krishna. There is nothing in this world that does not belong to Krishna. If you think that something belongs to you, that is not true. Because if it actually belongs with you, it should stay with you forever. Nothing stays with you forever. Therefore, nothing belongs to you. You can say, this is my house, you can say, this is my pen, you can say, this is my harmonium, but at the end of the day, doesn't belong to us. It actually belongs to Krishna. So we should be very clear that there is nothing for Krishna to steal, because everything belongs to him. The only thing that Krishna can steal from us is our time, and if we steal time for Krishna, Krishna becomes very happy. All of you are gathered here today because you stole some part of your own time and you're using it for Krishna. And therefore, when you do that, Krishna becomes very pleased. So Mother Yashoda woke up in the morning and she started grinding and churning. She was churning butter. She was making butter. It was hard work making butter. But Mother Yashoda was not complaining. She was not disturbed. Why? Because her mind and her heart was completely absorbed in remembering the pastimes of Krishna. This is the mood of Mother Yashoda and all the residents of Vrindavan. Whenever they were doing any activity, automatically they would remember Krishna. This is very important. The gopis in Gopi Gita, they say something very important to us. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi viriditam kalmasapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Granantiye Bhuride Janaha. This is a shloka from Gopi Gita in Bhagavatam. And there the gopis sing to Krishna. And they say, Krishna, Tava Kathamritam. Katha means the pastimes of Krishna. Whenever we remember about your pastimes, it is like Amrit. That's why it is known as Katha Amritam. And it is Tapta Jivanam. Tapta Jivana means these pastimes of yours, Krishna, they sustain our very lives. This is very important. So the devotees of the Lord, they sustain their lives by simply performing devotional service and by remembering Krishna. So Mother Yashoda was very, very focused on remembering Krishna, even though she was performing what appeared to be a very ordinary activity. So that tells us one thing. Bhakti doesn't need to be very special as an activity. Anything simple as an offering to Krishna, Krishna will accept. But it must come from the heart. That is very important. So because Mother Yashoda was so absorbed in remembering Krishna, Krishna, who was sleeping, he came out of the room. And after he came out of the room, he came to Mother Yashoda and he indicated to her that he wanted to drink milk from her. So Mother Yashoda stopped churning the milk and she put him on her lap and she started feeding him. And Mother Yashoda was jubilant and very happy seeing Krishna. But Mother Yashoda was a multitasker also. While she was actually churning butter, she had also got some milk for Krishna and she had put it on a pot on the stove in the kitchen. And now when Krishna was being fed, she could hear and she could smell that the milk was going to be burnt. If she did not go and pick up the milk from the stove, the milk that was meant for Krishna will be lost. Now Mother Yashoda had a difficulty. Should she put Krishna down? Because Krishna was not fully fed, which means he will be angry. Or should she just go and save the pot of milk because the milk was meant for Krishna? What should she do? So she thought about it for a while and she thought, let me put Krishna down for a little while. And I'll go in very quickly and turn off the stove and I will get the milk. So she put Krishna down. But Krishna was not fully fed. And so Krishna became very upset with his mother. Sometimes we think only parents are upset with children. But we also know that sometimes children can become very upset with parents. They're all looking at their fathers and their mothers when I said that. And when they become very upset, then they throw what we call a tantrum. A tantrum. So Krishna, though he was God and though he was the supreme personality of Godhead, he was also playing the perfect part of a little boy. So the moment Mother Yashoda put him down and he was still not full and he was hungry, he became very upset with his mother. And he thought to himself, let me teach my mother a lesson for putting me down. He took a stone and the pot where Mother Yashoda was churning butter, he broke it with just one hit of the stone. Now you and I can't break a pot with just one hit of the stone, but Krishna is God. And therefore for him it's very easy to break anything. So Krishna broke the pot and all the butter began spilling. When Krishna saw what he had done, he then regretted it. Children do that, isn't it? You do something and then you realize, oh, now my parents are going to be upset with me, and then you regret. It happens very often. So Krishna thought, now I should not be standing here because when Mother Yashoda comes back, she will get very upset with me. So I better run away. So Krishna got up and he ran. But before he ran, he thought, before I run away, there's so much butter, let me take some butter and run away. He's a true thief. So he thought, since I'm going to be caught, I might as well enjoy the butter and then get caught. And so he ran. And he ran deep into the house. Mother Yashoda's house was very big. And he went into a storeroom. Now Mother Yashoda comes out of the kitchen. And then to her horror, she realizes Krishna is not there. The pot is broken. A stone is there. And so much butter is everywhere. So Mother Yashoda came to understand that Krishna has been the culprit. Now instead of getting angry with Krishna, Mother Yashoda is concerned about Krishna. She's thinking, if Krishna continues being so naughty, then he will grow up to become a criminal. He'll be caught by the police. Because he's stealing butter. Now he's breaking pots to steal butter. So this is not good. Today, on Diwali day, I must discipline Krishna. So Mother Yashoda decided, let me take a stick and I'm going to go and see Krishna. Now you all know when your mother, your father takes a stick or tells you they're going to take a stick, you have to behave yourself, right? So then Mother Yashoda walked inside. Now it wasn't difficult for Mother Yashoda to find out where Krishna was because he had stepped on butter. So as he walked in, he left a whole, trail of footprints. And that is why even on Diwali day, many of us, right, we actually replicate the footprint of Krishna as if he's coming in or coming from the altar. That is coming from this pastime of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Mother Yashoda went in and she saw an amazing sight. She saw Krishna sitting on the mota. You see the mota where Krishna is there? That is the thing behind him, it's a mota. It's meant for grinding spices. So Krishna was seated on top. He wasn't seated, he was standing. And because he was standing on it, he could reach the roof of the warehouse. And in the warehouse, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj had stored so much of butter. They put it very high up because they felt Krishna was very small and he couldn't catch it. But Krishna was very intelligent because he is none other than God. So he stepped on the mota, which was very high, and he was breaking the pots of butter. And butter was flowing like it was flowing from the sky. But Krishna was not alone. Bhagavatam tells us Krishna was sitting down with his best friends in Vrindavan. Do you all know who the best friends are? Who are they? The monkeys, yes. Children and monkeys have a lot in common, isn't it? Yeah. Monkeys, by nature, are very mischievous. And so Krishna's friends, the Gopas and the monkeys, were just like Krishna. They could not keep still. They were always playing with each other. And Mother Yashoda saw that Krishna was feeding the butter to all the monkeys. He was feeding them. And the monkeys were very happy and they were feeding each other. Now for Mother Yashoda, this was a very interesting sight. Though she was upset with him, she also thought that Krishna is very generous. He's feeding everyone. But she could not understand why Krishna was doing that. She did not understand that. Because these monkeys were the same monkeys who served Lord Ram in the Treta Yuga when he was about to vanquish Ravana. Hanumanji, Angada, Sugriva, they were all known as the Vanaras. And these Vanaras, they are pure devotees of the Lord. And when Lord Ram finished his Leela, he had asked the monkeys for what benediction do you want? And they said, Lord Ram, whenever you come back to this world again, you please give us an opportunity to come and serve you. That is all we want. We don't want anything else. This is the mood of a devotee. A devotee doesn't aspire for something material because they have the knowledge and the wisdom that whatever that you're asking which is material is foolish, because by nature it will leave you. Why ask for something temporary when you can ask for something much more valuable? It's like somebody going to a jewel shop and asking for glass when he can ask for diamonds. There's a big difference. But we think glass is valuable because we think that we are in this material world and therefore it appears to be valuable. But it has no value in the end. So actually these monkeys asked for the right thing. They asked that they can serve Krishna, Lord Ram. And so Lord Ram said, yes, I'm very pleased with you. And when I come back again, and he came back as Krishna, the same monkeys were born in Vrindavan and they became Krishna's best friends. In Ram Leela, they were the servants to Lord Ram, so they were a bit distant. But in Vrindavan Leela, they were very, very intimate and very close, like friends with Krishna. So Krishna did not forget the promise he made as Lord Ram in Ram Leela. And though he came so many, one yuga later, the Lord never forgets his promise to his devotee. If the Lord promises that he will do something, he never forgets. We may forget. We often say many things to God, and when the situation has passed, okay, fine, we'll maybe do it, maybe it's not practical, but Krishna will do it. And so Krishna fulfilled the desire of all the monkeys. And now the monkeys saw Krishna, but they also saw Mother Yashoda standing at the door, and they saw her stick. And so the monkeys decided, let's all run. And the monkeys, within half a minute, they had left. With butter or no butter, they all ran. The only person left sitting on the mota was Krishna. Now when Krishna saw everybody had left, his back was to the door. So he didn't know who was there. But he figured when everybody had run, and when they all looked very frightened, that it must be his mother. So Krishna turned. And when he turned, he saw Mother Yashoda. But not only was Mother Yashoda there, the stick was there also. And when she saw it, when Krishna saw the stick, then he became very afraid. Just like an ordinary boy, he became very afraid. And so, when children are afraid, what do? They run. And Krishna got off the mota and he started running. Now, when Krishna started running, Mother Yashoda was thinking, what is the difficulty? He's only a small boy, I'll catch him. And so she started running after Krishna. But the more she tried to catch him, the more Krishna was further away. She would almost catch the dhoti of Krishna. And then Krishna would be 2 meters ahead of her. But he would still look frightened. He wasn't smiling. He was looking frightened and he was running. Now Mother Yashoda spent the next 2-3 hours running after Krishna. Imagine how much stamina you must have for running 2 hours. Most of the parents here would take a minute to catch your children, hopefully, right? But nobody could catch Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's God. Yogis are trying to catch Krishna. The great sages and munis are trying to catch Krishna. Even the demons are trying to catch Krishna. But factually speaking, nobody can catch Krishna unless Krishna wishes to be caught. It is only by the sanction and the permission of the Lord that he can actually be caught. And so Mother Yashoda surrendered to Krishna in her heart. She said, Krishna, I cannot catch you, but I need to catch you. Please, please allow me to catch you. When Mother Yashoda displayed that mood of humility and surrender, then Krishna allowed himself to be caught. Now when Krishna was caught, this is the exact scene that he was caught. Mother Yashoda caught him, and look at Krishna, he's got his hands like this. Why? Because he was very afraid. He saw Mother Yashoda's stick, and like a child, he pretended to be afraid. Except that Bhagavatam says it was not pretense the way we pretend. The Lord perfectly plays the role of a child. Therefore, he actually felt fear. Even though Bhagavatam tells us fear personified is fearful of Krishna, the superintendent of death is fearful of Krishna, the Devatas are fearful of Krishna, and yet Krishna was fearful of Mother Yashoda. How is that possible? It is possible because Mother Yashoda completely devoted her life to Krishna. And Mother Yashoda was the emblem of pure devotional service. When one has pure devotional service, Krishna becomes like a servant to the devotee. because that devotee becomes a servant to Krishna. This is the loving exchange, the reciprocal exchange between Krishna, Mother Yashoda, and all the residents of Vrindavan. So Mother Yashoda thought, Krishna is crying so much. You know, Krishna had, in the morning, Mother Yashoda would put this kajal and ointment on his eyes. But because he started crying, and his crying was so much, the tears washed away all the ointment. He was shaking, and Krishna had so much jewels on him. He had much more than all of you combined. Okay, it was like a walking jewelry shop. So much jewel on him. So when he moved, all the jewelry was shaking. All the jewelry was shaking. And so Mother Yashoda felt bad. She thought, I'm not going to punish him with the stick. And so she put down the stick. Later, when you go forward and you light the lamp to Lord Damodara and Mother Yashoda, look next to her at the bottom. You will see the stick is down on the floor. Okay, it's there because she didn't pick it up. But she thought, Krishna, I can't let you go free either. Okay, I can't. And therefore he said, therefore she said, I will do something else. I will tie Krishna. Can you see the stick? Can you all see the stick? Never mind, let your parents show you the stick later. Okay? Don't worry. You'll be able to light the lamps, not to worry. Then you can see the stick. Most of the deities, when they do it, they should have the stick there. It is there, right, Mataji? Yeah, it's there. So then what happened was, Mother Yashoda decided, I am not going to use the stick on Krishna, but I am going to tie Krishna. She decided, if Krishna is left walking around, now I'm not going to tell the story until everybody becomes quiet. I want absolute silence. Then I will tell the story. Okay? Very good. Now, when Krishna decided that he was ready to be caught, Mother Yashoda decided to tie Krishna. So she thought, if I tie Krishna to the mota, which is just behind him, then he will not be able to run around. He will become quiet, and I can then do my work, because it's Diwali. Right? That's what Mother Yashoda wanted to do. So she took some rope. Krishna is not a very big boy. He's not very plump. Okay? So it's very easy to tie Krishna. So she took the ropes and she brought it in front of Krishna, right here. But she realized that the rope was 2 inches short, 2 fingers short. It was like that. It couldn't come together. So Mother Yashoda thought, that is strange. Krishna is very small, my rope is long. Let me get more rope. And so she went to get more rope. And she brought it around Krishna. But it was 2 fingers short. She went to get all the rope available in the house. She asked her neighbors for the rope. But every time she brought the rope together, it was 2 fingers short. And Mother Yashoda thought, this is amazing. How is it that Krishna is so small, but I can't tie him? Mother Yashoda did not realize that she was not tying an ordinary child. She was actually trying to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the master of all creation. So this is a very important point. Nobody can bind Krishna. The only way to bind Krishna is not with a rope, but with bhakti. And so Mother Yashoda then decided once again, she surrendered to Krishna. And she said, Krishna, I am unable to tie you, but I must tie you. So please help me. And so Mother Yashoda, because she was so humble, because she was so devoted, then Krishna allowed himself to be tied. And Mother Yashoda could tie the rope around Krishna. Now, one important thing here before we end this pastime is actually that these 2 fingers, right, the 2 inches or the 2 fingers between the ropes, they represent 2 very important qualities that we must have in order to execute bhakti. The first quality is actually the quality of endeavor. There must always be some endeavor from a devotee, and it must be sincere endeavor. Very important. If we don't endeavor sincerely, then what happens is that we do not get the second. There are 2 ropes, right? There are 2 inches. The first inch is endeavor. The second inch is mercy. Mercy is attracted by the sincere endeavor of the devotee. So if you endeavor for Krishna, his mercy is always there. Sometimes we think, why isn't Krishna listening to me? It is not that Krishna is not listening to us, but we have to reflect whether we are endeavoring for Krishna. Sometimes we have a very superficial idea of spiritual life. We think we can just do our morning prayer and our evening prayer, and that is bhakti. But that's not bhakti. If you don't change your life in such a way that you are remembering Krishna as much as you can, that you are constantly performing your work and your time in consciousness of Krishna, then that is considered to be endeavor. Therefore, devotees in the world who are serious about Krishna, they mold their lives in such a way that that Krishna is in the center of their lives. The gopis, Mother Yashoda, everything for them was Krishna was in the center. He was always in the center. So this is a very, very important thing. You know, the gopis, in the morning, they would see Krishna going to the forest because he would go with the gopas in the morning and they would not see him. But even though they could not see him, they would constantly remember him and they would wait until he came back. See how much of love and attention they had for Krishna, which is the second point that's very important. If we want to be attracted to Krishna, we must learn to be attentive to Krishna. If you're not attentive to someone, you can never be attracted to them. If you say, I love somebody, you should be attentive to their needs, to what they want, what they like, what they don't like. You think about it, it's common sense actually. If you say that you like someone, you must be attentive to what they do, what they don't do. If you take that for granted, you can never feel attraction because there's no attention in the first place. Kunti Mata says this, Twaime ananya vishaya, matir madhupati asakrit, ratin udvahata adha, gangai vauham udanvati. She says, Krishna, let my mind and my senses not be diverted to anything else but to you. Let my mind, my matir, be always attentive to you, so that I will become ratihi. Matihi is first, ratihi comes after that. So if you want to be attracted to something, you must learn to be attentive to it. Very important. And therefore Mother Yashoda was very attentive to Krishna. And therefore she was always attracted to Krishna. So sometimes you may say, why is it I'm not attracted to bhakti? The question the acharyas will ask you, are you attentive enough to bhakti? That's very important. Yes, you have a question. What is endeavor? Okay, fine. I have to reduce my English to something simpler. Sorry, occupational hazard. Endeavor means hard work. It means you work for someone. You work for Krishna. You serve Krishna. You put in some effort for Krishna. For example, if you're going to school and you're going to sit for your exam, you have to put in some work, isn't it, for your exam? You can't tell mother and father that I won't work, I'll just go there and sit for my exam. You're going to probably fail if that happens. So the harder you work, the more Krishna becomes attracted to you. Is that helpful? So that is the wonderful pastime of Krishna with Lord Damodara. Now Mother Yashoda tied him and now she left him because it was Diwali. But Krishna had one more pastime left. What did Krishna do? Krishna decided that he had to now deliver two sons of Kuvera. And they were in the form of trees in the backyard. They were known as Nalakuvera and Manigriva. So Krishna started crawling with the mota. And as he crawled forward, the mota, which was vertical, turned around and it became horizontal. And it moved with Krishna. When Krishna came between the trees, he pushed a little hard and the trees came down. Because he's very powerful. And in place of the trees were two beautiful beings. So Krishna asked them, why are you in the form of trees? What has happened to you? And they said, a long, long, long time ago, we were the great sons of Kuver. You all know who Kuver is, isn't it? He's the superintendent of wealth. But because he was so rich and we were so proud of our wealth, we forgot the purpose of life. And we were always inebriated, we were drunk, and we were intoxicated by pride. One day we were bathing in the lake near Lord Shiva's Mount Kailash, when Narada Muni walked by, and Narada is a great devotee, a sadhu. Instead of coming out and putting on clothes and standing in front of Narada, we came out without clothes because we were completely drunk. And when Narada saw us that way, he cursed us to become trees. But his curse was not a curse, because in that curse was a prayer. The prayer was, My dear Krishna, I pray that these two young gentlemen should understand the value of their lives and not waste it in pride and intoxication. I pray that they will become trees in the courtyard where you will perform your pastimes, and one day you will deliver them. This is my prayer. And so Mother Yashoda then then Krishna remembered the prayer of Narada. Krishna never forgets the prayer of Narada. He never forgets the prayer of any devotee. Though Narada prayed thousands of years before, that prayer was kept by Krishna. And so he allowed these two boys to be liberated only on account of the devotee praying for them. And he said something very important. He said to the two boys, Devarishi Priyatamo. He said that, my dear boys, I have nothing to do with you because you never prayed to me. But Narada prayed for you. And therefore, because of his prayer for you, I am delivering you today. So this shows us a very important point. Even if we are not qualified to pray or to even come before Krishna, we are very often at the mercy of devotees. If devotees pray for us, our spiritual life can actually advance. This is called blessings. This is the real meaning of blessings. Blessings means devotees pray for the welfare of all. Not just the devotees, but even the non-devotees. So this is the beautiful pastime of Lord Damodara. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Yes, you have a question. Intoxication means you become so much, you become so caught up with the idea that you have something and it belongs to you. You are so attracted to it that you think you cannot let it go. In this case, the two boys were very intoxicated by pride. They were very proud because they thought they are very powerful and their father is very rich. But they did not realize that being rich or being powerful is also the mercy of Krishna. You see the point? Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, Mataji.
So, I know Prabhu is doing 3 sessions per day during this Kartik Mass and doing various different programs. Your son is very clearly following you playing Mridanga, and he's been doing it for a very long time now.
He has.
So how did you make that happen? Because clearly I would be very surprised if she listens to me in another 5 years, even if she wants to spend time with me. So how did you make that happen?
How did that happen before? Can we share 2 things with you?
Was stick involved is the question.
No, actually there was no stick involved. My spiritual master told me that if you want to raise your children to become devotees, you must become a devotee first. At least minimum you should behave like one. You just set an example and don't speak so much. The more you lecture them, the more they run away. But if you just continue to do what you can, pray to Krishna, then they have their devotion. So, like Gopal, for example, has been playing the Mridanga since he was a toddler. He was very small and was attracted to the Mridanga. So we could see that this must be a carryover from previous life. But I think Gopal will agree with me that growing up in Krishna consciousness also means you have to be balanced about it. Children will be children. They need to have a life, they need to have friends, but they should also have some place in their heart for Krishna. In that way, even if I don't want to go for a Saturday program, for example, my children will go. Because for them, their attraction is to the Lord. And they just feel very attracted to the process. So I'm fortunate that he has taste. I have not done anything extraneous to give him taste. But he has taste. And that is why he's able to chant Krishna's names. He chants 16 rounds every day. He's studying. He's playing the mridanga. And he's very active in devotional service. But he's a very balanced boy also. So I think that's very important in devotional service, Mataji. That we don't put too much pressure on them, but we give them a nice taste and experience in Krishna consciousness. That experience will stick in their minds and they'll be very happy. But don't worry, this is again up to Krishna finally. Any other questions? Children, you all understood the story? Yes? Very good. So now shall we light the lamps and offer it to Krishna? Okay, so everybody's going to sing Damodara Ashtakam. I hope you know. If you don't, never mind, I'll keep singing, and those who know, they should sing also. And then we can all light the lamps and offer it to their lordships. That will be a wonderful way to end the program. Namami Shwaharam Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundahalam Gokule Brajamanam Vishwaharam Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundahalam Gokule Brajamanam Namami Shwaharam Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namami Shwaharam Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Kaladhavamanam Param Vrishnahamadyam Tato Dhrutya Gopya Yashoda Viyolo Kaladhavamanam Param Vrishnahamadyam Tato Dhrutya Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetra Yudmam Vijantam Haramboja Yugme Nasatam Tanetam Rudantam Muhurnetra Yukmam Vijantam Haramboja Yugme Nasatam Tanetam Muhu Swasakampa Trirekakakampa Stita Graivam Damo Daram Bhakti Badham Mohu Swasakampa Trireka Kakanta Stita Graivam Damo Daram Bhakti Badham Iti Drik Swalila Virananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajan Tamakyapayantam Iti Drik Swalilavi Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajan Tamakyapayantam Tadiye Shitaneshu Bhaktai Jitadvam Puna Premahatastam Satavriti Vande Tadiye Shitaneshu Bhaktai Jitadvam Puna Premahatastam Satavriti Vande Param Devaha Moksham Na Mokshavadema Nachanyam Rineham Varishadapiha Param Devaha Moksham Na Mokshavadema Nachanyam Rineham Varishadapiha Idam Teva Purnata Gopala Balam Sada Me Manasyam Virastam Kimanye Idam Teva Purnata Gopala Balam Sada Me Manasyam Virastam Kimanye Idam Te Mukhambojam Atyantanilam Vritam Kuntalai Snigdharatvaischa Gopyam Idam Te Mukhambojam Atyantanilam Vritam Kuntalai Snigdharatvaischa Gopyam Muhuschumbitam Bimbaratpadaram Me Manasya Virastam Alam Lashalabhe भरतादरं मे मनस्याविरास्तं अलं लक्षलाभे नमो देवः दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीदा प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् नमो देवः दामोदर अनन्त विष्णु प्रसीदा प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्याति दिनं बतानु ग्रहाणेश मामज्ञमेधाक्षि दृशया कृपादृष्टिवृष्याति दिनं बतानु ग्रहाणेश मामज्ञमेधाक्षि दृशया कुबेरात्मजं बदमुद्यैव याद्वं त्वया मोचितौ भक्ति भजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमुद्यैव याद्वं त्वया मोचितौ भक्ति भजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वखं मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरेहा तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वखं मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरेहा नमस्ते स्तुधाम्ने स्फुरद्दीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमस्ते स्तुधाम्ने स्फुरद्दीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे everybody chant Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Bol Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara. Jaya Yashoda Damodara ji ki. Jaya Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Jaya Vrindavana Dham ki. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Shri Vrindavan Bhumi Dham ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gurudeva ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much to Nidhi Mataji also. And to all of you for joining us today for the program. I wish you all the best in your spiritual life. Please contemplate on these pastimes. They are not fantasies or fiction. Just because we have not seen something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's a fallacy, right? So we should have faith that Krishna is in Vrindavan, then that you must have the eyes and the heart to see that. And that there must be a change in your consciousness if you want to take spiritual life seriously. Those devotees who have taken it seriously, they feel so much bliss, even though there can be so many challenges in life. You cannot teach this to children. This can only be given as a gift of spirituality. I tell so many people that our generation, our parents worked very hard to give us education, hoping that we will have a better life, a more luxurious life. But you and I know that that is not the route to happiness. Maybe for a while, but there'll always be something coming. Our generation must give our children the gift of Krishna consciousness, because this culture is leaving. In India, in Singapore, in many parts of the world, we think that we have this culture, but it is fast being replaced. Many children don't even know anything about Krishna. They don't know what are the basics of our own spiritual lives. And if you look at other religions where it is systematically taught, they have a much better and deeper understanding of their culture than we do. Our culture has become very, very ritualistic. We just do it, but if someone asks you why you're doing it, why you light lamps, why do you do this on Diwali, we can't give a proper answer because we don't even know our sastras. We've not even read and studied our Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, because we simply say, it's okay, it doesn't matter. So what happens is we pick here and there mental speculations that have no basis in sastras. They become a part of our lives. And because that has no potency, we continue to remain disturbed. So please, follow what is bona fide. Bhagavatam is bona fide, Bhagavad Gita is bona fide. Read it, study it, and that's why we are here to do that. Don't worry about whether you will lose money or that you will lose your titles and your prestige or whatever else. Krishna preserves what you have and he will give you what you lack. Nobody who has come to Krishna consciousness has lacked anything, material or spiritual. But this process is very important. And I see so many children here. So they should learn this as soon as they can. They should learn shlokas from the Gita. They should understand who Krishna is. And they must change. But remember, they won't change until you change. If you tell them you go and read and then you continue reading the newspapers and you don't look at the Gita, they are very quick to tell you. I know many parents who keep watching TV and tell their children, please go and read, please chant, please pray. And the children said, why don't you sit and why don't you pray? You must become examples. Then they will take the path up. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. And now we must go for the program in the